Fuck China.
Fuck China, man.
Is that the first thing that came?
Welcome.
So,
Saw, dude.
No, we're not here yet, are we?
No, we're here.
We're like
live.
on the air.
Yes, sir.
we're on there.
Why would we be on the air?
Because it doesn't matter.
Alright.
This is our list right now.
We don't need a list, CJ.
Yes, we do.
Well, yeah, you're right. We do need something to talk about. Let me, How do you guys feel about climate change?
Oh, man.
What do you mean?
That's a bummer.
Like, what do you think I should do about it?
What do you think about it?
Like,
It's fucked, man.
I mean, it's there.
It's there.
I just don't
You
know.
believe it.
I
Dude,
just don't know how much personal responsibility everyone needs to attribute to it.
I don't know if it is on the
There's
highest
definitely-
list of global threats. That's
Yeah.
that's kind
There's
of how I
definitely
feel.
a macro and a micro level to it, because it's definitely on large scales, like these large companies just dumping shit into the atmosphere,
Yeah, well, that does more damage.
But there's also the collective populations all driving cars and all that shit. That's just as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's a macro and a micro, scale to it. Like you gotta
Micro,
do your
you can't
part.
really avoid.
You gotta do your
Avoiding
part.
a walk.
Well,
I mean,
There's-
some people can.
Yeah.
you
Some
can
people
compost.
There's a lot of ways. You could buy a Tesla.
Paper straws.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just
for
grab my
the
$80,000.
10% of the
Yeah.
population or the U.S. that can. But yeah, I just don't know. People are, well, the Earth is fucked. So what's the point of even trying? That's a really shitty viewpoint.
It really is, bro.
Well, I agree, but I mean,
you just gotta reduce your carbon output and recycle.
Like what? Like
I
The
think
number
the
one thing that they're saying that they can change is to change the refrigerants in our refrigerators and our ACs. Is
That's
because those
good for the
refrigerants are greenhouse gases.
don't cows put out a shit ton of methane?
Yeah, that's also another huge.
So when
thing.
we go to industrialized meat, that'll be good in that regard.
Lab grown meat is
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
Would you eat the CJ?
Oh, I would eat it.
Yeah.
But not all the time.
If it,
Eventually the idea is that that's the primary
source of meat.
if it was
where
shown
we'll get
that wouldn't give you cancer, I'm gonna wait to see what it's all about.
I
because
know.
I don't want to.
I don't want to get in early on that.
Exactly.
I mean, they're real, authentic cells. They're identical.
I know.
If it tastes good and it's got good nutrients, then yeah, I'll eat
It
it.
might
mean,
taste
you can-
better,
yeah.
or it might taste
We
super
can make it taste
clean.
like whatever the fuck we
You
want.
can, you can steer it.
Yeah. Do you
yeah.
mind if I curse? So Huawei. Is that how you say it?
Basically, so this is really kind of fucked up. So
Okay,
in
what'd they do?
between,
Is this just,
I know that literally the American government said don't buy Huawei. You're not allowed to. They said. I think
yeah,
they put
no.
a-
So
because
here,
they thought they were chipped and shit.
okay, so because technically China's a communist country, a lot of people don't think that because of Beijing.
No, they're
They're a communist
a
dictatorship.
totalitarian.
Yeah, they're definitely totalitarian.
Yeah, that's a hard word.
Yeah, fuck me. But basically, Huawei, I don't know how the fuck you say it,
Yeah.
but whatever it is, they shot up to being the second biggest cell phone company behind Apple, just randomly.
So you mean the
And
PewDiePie thing?
yeah, no, sure, but they're fucking stealing.
It's the same shit, bro. Because their
Well-
population grows like that.
Well, the issue is their CEO is this guy who used to run a bunch of bullshit in their army, a bunch of dark
So
bullshit.
yeah, it's literally the Chinese government.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is every big company in China is interconnected with the government.
because it's a communist society.
Yeah, and they were using Android and fucking with it and doing fucky shit, and Google's like, no, you cannot do that shit.
Yeah, it's
Probably told by the government. I think Google's probably told by the United States.
I mean,
to
it's
do that.
illegal too, but yeah, they probably did.
And so now Google's not allowing any future Huawei phones to have Android on them.
That's awesome.
They put a blocker in it so that only you have to be a registered, so Sony can and Samsung obviously, but Huawei cannot because they're so fucked basically.
so, and they can't use the iPhone one, obviously.
Yeah, well, and China just backed out of.
So what are they gonna do?
Huh?
What is Huawei gonna do?
Well, they can sell to the fucking 7 bajillion people in China. I mean,
think that's an accurate number.
yeah, so.
Or they could outsource it to India.
Sure. I mean,
No,
but.
The second China.
Well, they backed out of the trade tariff, too.
Which one? The Pacific.
We had like the
India
deal.
or the China.
The Pacific
China did.
one?
The one where it was like
It was
we
the
were gonna
Pacific-
tax
Pacific
them.
Partnership of Trade.
Yeah,
Some
and
bullshit.
it's okay. So here's the thing: is like on paper, so the math is supposed to be even. So it was like $36 trillion or something each side would have to pay in tariffs, so it would be even. But in like long term, it was totally benefiting the United States, and China backed out of it, and Trump's saying some shit that's making it sound like big businesses are going to have to leave China here pretty soon, which would hurt China very
and
much.
that's one of the okay. Yeah.
So, but that's called a trade war.
Yeah.
So I don't, that's
But China initiated the trade war.
yes, but China's a militant state too.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah, but we don't want two militant states getting fucking mad at each other.
No, we don't.
You
Trying to
guys
take
don't.
over our markets
Yeah.
by dumping their shit for cheap as fuck to try and put us out of business, bro.
Well, no, I kind of despise what China does as
Yeah.
a whole concept.
Yeah, China. Fuck
What?
China.
They're they're
Fuck
fucking schemy. They're
government of China.
I don't trust.
Oh, I don't trust
The
them,
shit
but I'm
they're doing.
impressed by
Government.
it.
It's
crazy.
impressive, but that's what happens when you fucking brainwash a whole and you're so like like fuck, I can't say the word again.
Totalitarian.
Yeah, when you're that, it's like that's all you can do is succeed because if you don't, you're fucked. Like you can't live like you can't be free.
It's like
you
that
know?
boss that's always like, we need results. We need
Yeah, like there's
Alright.
a reason like there's the whole dragon mom thing. Like when you're like where Chinese parents, like if Chinese parents are like first immigrants, like Derek's dad, they're always or not always, but sometimes the stigma is that they're really hard on their kids and like no, you got to practice piano every day and do your homework every day and pick up sports every day because if you're not always doing something, you're failing.
Yeah, there's kind of that mentality.
That's like the whole country is supposed to be built on that.
Continuous push.
I mean,
Yeah.
see, Japan is also kind of like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, 100%.
They
It's
do it-
Asian culture in
They,
a whole.
yeah, but they
Korea's
do it like a
the
really
same
good
way.
way. Japan's society is just like almost perfect, bro. Like,
I don't know about that.
well,
It's not.
They're pretty xenophobic, bro. They're the
That's
most
true.
xenophobic like country ever.
there's a lot of weird shit too. But like in terms of their like respect for like the community and like their country as a whole, like
Their like headspace impresses me.
Yeah.
Almost like how
Yeah.
they can maintain.
Well, it's the group over.
Tai
It's,
Chi,
the
bro.
group over the individual.
America is the opposite.
There's like a
Literally.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
no,
we seem so
America's all about the
emotional
individual. That's
and
no, that's the
wrath.
whole point. America is about the individual.
And thank God.
That the individual can
I mean,
achieve
just think
anything
about the
they want.
names.
Exactly.
Like we say our first before last,
And they say their last
before
before
their
the first,
because your
yes.
family represents more.
Exactly, and it's just a different culture, I guess. I
That's
don't
cool.
know.
I wish we still went by like of wherever we were instead of last names. It would have been-
Jack of Woodstock.
What the fuck?
Bro, wouldn't it be awesome to just be like a barbarian?
No,
No, I disagree.
no.
You could do whatever the fuck
What?
you want. To live in like a tribe, just be like chilling. You could do whatever the fuck you want.
I guess.
You'd be getting lit like
have
every night,
whatever
like
the fuck happened.
like
dude.
You'd be
Dancing
getting
to the gods and
lit,
shit.
dancing to the gods and shit,
Dude,
getting
and I
lit.
bet you they probably smokes like ayahuasca and like shit like that. Like
Oh, there's a tribe in like fucking the Amazon that gives ayahuasca to babies like minutes after they're born because they're
What?
so like in fact like that's how they think you can communicate with the gods. So they're like they think it's that important that they give it to babies.
They're raising like superhumans.
Well,
it's
these yeah from what I've heard about it, it's fucking like they're like very like they take it all the time and it's a super powerful psychedelic.
it's a yeah.
Well,
crazy.
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
What
I've heard
is
it's crazy.
It's like a
Is it
plant.
like salvia?
It's very similar to DMT.
Oh, okay.
It is DMT with other stuff, I believe, because it's a plant that has it naturally. And then
So
you,
it's
like,
more economical.
This is like what they say DMT looks like. Is this shit? You know?
Yes.
Uh,
Well, kind of. They talk about.
Little pixies.
I've heard people talk about the fucking machine elves. Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
that means?
I
I have
know
no
That
idea.
freaks me out.
That seems scary.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, that I no fuck that. But yeah, I don't know. Shit's whack. Roman, like you'd like, oh, that'd be so cool. Yeah, but there's a good chance you're a fucking peasant or a slave or some shit. So
Oh yeah.
I would hate to fight in their battles too.
Yeah.
You could
But I'm
pretty
talking about,
easily
like-
get a backline.
well, yeah,
job
if you
because
were in the
of-
back line, dude, you just like fucking watch all these people die, or you have to watch all these people die and then they get to you.
No,
and
but
then you're like,
dude, a phalanx,
Huh?
like you wouldn't be dying because you'd have your brothers right there with you, bro.
I
Like,
guess. I wouldn't
Valhalla,
mind being in the
Valhalla.
front, but I
Yeah.
would be in like the back of the pack because you know how they.
well, you
Legions.
you rotate it out. So actually, what they did is like they would move up and then they would split it and back up while the guys behind them.
Are you talking about the Romans?
Yeah,
Shit's whack, dude. I think this is the best time to live. Period.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
lots of stuff is getting fucked up, but that's just because
Yeah.
we have such hyper attention because of the internet and social media.
But there's still a lot of stuff getting fucked up more so, like,
How so?
well, in recent years, honestly.
What? What do you mean?
A lot of countries around the world have been turning to a lot more authoritarian. You know?
Well, dude, this is gonna sound weird.
That's
It's because
just
we're
a-
ending post World War II. Like that phase is ending, and people are like, "Oh no, it's cool to be
Yeah,
at war
no.
again," because they forgot all the people who fought in it are dead now. So
Yeah.
people
Well,
forget. It's fucking
I
bullshit.
don't think there's gonna be a war.
Oh well, I know, but what I'm saying is people are getting more aggressive and more
Yeah.
nationalistic and things.
You're right.
It's very weird and strange. I don't know. Mussolini's fucking great grandson or whatever is running for president.
What, really?
Yeah, or whatever their equivalent of president is.
That's actually
That's
funny.
fucking crazy.
That's funny.
Is it like on the same
But they're part of
platform?
they're part of the EU, bro. The EU
Yeah.
is not gonna do shit.
Well, I mean, Mussolini, the original one, was a dictator, obviously, but
So I've heard.
yeah. Axis powers, you ever heard of them?
I think there's a lot of Russian manipulation.
Russia's fucked too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
In countries all over the world, you know.
especially in former Soviet Union countries.
Oh, especially.
Like
Oh.
Vladimir Putin lived in a time where they were a part of his.
He was a
country.
KGB
He
agent,
was
yeah.
a KGB agent, and he was in the USSR. So he remembers a time where the USSR was strong and
Yeah.
wants that. I feel
Yeah,
like
he does.
he feels like a conquester a little bit. It's kind of scary.
When they run out of oil in like 30 years, 50 years, something, you know, what are they gonna do?
Isn't that their only export?
That's their only export.
That's what their
And OPEC still is.
that's what their economic unit's backed by too.
Yeah, well, so they're apparently you ask people in the former military, and you ask them like, "What's the worst country in the world right now?" And like a lot of people say Saudi Arabia.
Well,
To live in?
No, like
It-
that needs a fucking eye on them.
Oh,
They're-
like they're
they're-
up to no good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
they are.
definitely.
Like
Yeah.
most
Saudi Arabia
yeah.
was worse than Saddam Hussein, you could argue, but we're allies with them.
Yeah, because they have lots of oil.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
It's-
so did
nice.
Saddam.
It's very
and we- so
strange.
we needed to take that oil.
No, it's very strange.
You ever watch the movie Vice?
Vice?
Yeah, about
No, never did.
George W.'s vice president.
Oh! You're
By-
talking about
uh,
Dick
Cheney.
Cheney,
Yeah, Dick Cheney. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just couldn't remember his name.
played by Christian Bale. It's very
Yeah,
interesting.
dude, it's crazy.
He looked crazy
Wait.
like him too.
Did he get he got fat?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah, he got fat.
some of it was not that much, like real.
Still, he's
but
still.
he definitely got big,
Yeah,
filled out.
he was lean before that.
Well, dude, he is like one of the craziest people when it comes to changing their body.
Well, yeah, when you have him in that one movie, I
He-
can't
he-
remember. What
he
it's
was
called.
in-
Machinist.
Machinist, yes.
He was in like
And then he went to Batman after that,
Right
like
after
like
that.
6 months.
yeah,
after.
like he in one movie he's literally like skinny as fuck. And
Yeah,
then-
that's the Machinist.
Yeah.
That's gotta fuck you up later in life.
No, it's not healthy to fluctuate that much.
Yeah, he was talking about in an interview that what he would do to get to the Machinist was he had 1 cup of pudding he would have every day.
What?
And he had he
Hell,
used a
man.
baby spoon because he could savor the bites more. It was like one of the creepiest things I'd ever.
I mean, that's dedication to his craft, though.
I agree.
I think that's too much.
It's probably too
I
much.
mean,
I think that crosses into obsession
it's-
over
I mean-
dedication.
You know, people sacrifice their bodies for shit like that. Like,
hmm
you know, and Heath Ledger also Batman, bro. Like, you know, you could say that his method acting was way too much, which it probably was.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a whole thing where
But that's dedication, you know.
I forget what it's called. This is my problem. Is a lot of people are taught on this new wave of acting, and I can't remember what it's called. But it's like a type of method acting, but it's a little bit more intense than that. And That's the one he was taught, and that's the one all these like Christian Bale was taught, and it's like all this shit that's like kind of wild.
I heard Jared Leto.
Jared Leto's taught it as well.
I heard that when he was doing the Joker, that he did the same shit, except he was just being a douchebag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No
he was
one
like
responded
mailing
well.
pig heads. Yeah, he's not cool like Heath Ledger though.
Yeah.
Isn't Heath Ledger? No, that's somebody else. Never mind. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I think the old school way is cool, like how Anthony Hopkins was taught.
Yeah, for sure.
How Barrick from Game of Thrones was taught.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's dramatic, like classical.
Charles Dance, like
It's
all
just
the,
like classical dramatic.
yeah, classic
acting.
Shakespearean. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like even, but you can do Shakespearean and do some fucking bullshit. Like what I was saying earlier is like, what's that guy's name? I always fucking fuck it up.
From what?
I'm too old for this shit. His partner. Lethal Weapon.
Oh.
Fuck.
White guy?
Yeah, white guy.
I don't know.
He's the bad guy in the newest, whatever. He was Hamlet.
Oh.
And it's like, you know, you wouldn't think that kind of shit is, but it's all transferable.
Yeah, no,
it's like
for
it's
sure.
all applied. Like,
Exactly.
I think they just get on the basics so good that they can do anything else after that.
Yeah.
That's
Lawrence.
It's not that
Wrong one?
version.
Okay.
This is a great version, though. This is a really good version, but it's much slower.
That's old.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about is like in the 80s, I
Okay.
think. CJ.
Huh?
You good?
Yeah, you just get trapped in this thing. Back to the acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say Johnny Depp's kind of in that too.
Johnny Depp's just a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking weirdo. Who else is a fucking weirdo? I mean...
And Jared Leto is in some random ass movie.
Yeah.
He's in Fight
Mr.
Club,
Nobody.
right?
Yeah, he's in Fight Club. I think that was his first movie. There's actually a scene in Fight Club where Brad Pitt's giving a speech and he's like, we're all taught to think that we can be millionaires and movie stars and rock stars, and he looks at him because he's in 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really cool scene.
Yo, did you watch the Motley Crue movie on Netflix?
Dirt? No, I didn't.
Oh. You gotta watch that
I
one.
need to watch that too.
I
That
didn't even
sounds
realize
amazing.
that Machine Gun Kelly was Tommy the drummer.
It's Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, but he's actually like a good actor.
Your beard is weird. That's all the dude says.
He should be an actor, bro.
Yeah, really. I mean, I like Harry Styles in Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought he did a great
I
job.
think he did a great job. Yeah.
I mean, that movie, there wasn't even much dialogue, you know? But yeah.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
Everybody's fucking scared shitless the
Yeah.
whole time.
That's a terrifying movie, you know?
Yeah, that evoked a lot of.
Emotion. Yeah.
Did you finish Band of Brothers?
No, I need to.
Yeah, you should.
I want to watch the Pacific one after too. I forgot what
It's not as good, but it's still good. It's still good. But Band of Brothers, I think, is better than.
Did you watch Overlord?
Game of Thrones? Yeah. We
The
watched it
first,
together,
yeah,
didn't
yeah. Well, maybe the first 30 minutes were fucking, or when the beginning opening scene where
Yeah.
that shit captured what that would have been
Yeah.
like crazy.
Oh, I know.
the
I'm
Scream-
so scared.
It was the yeah.
Screaming Eagles are fucking crazy. Airborne, nah,
Yeah, fuck all that.
nah. So you know how all of them got songs.
Huh?
You know how all the different kinds have like songs, like the tanks got songs.
Oh yeah.
The Airborne song talks about them dying. It's like the
Yeah.
only one. And it's like, thank God I died, I don't have to jump again. And it's fucked up.
Yeah.
There's a recording of like some World War II soldiers singing it.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking
They sing
scary.
in Band of Brothers.
Do they?
Yeah.
What a hell of a way to die, that
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Glory, glory,
Yeah.
glory. Yeah, that song's fucked up.
Yeah, I know. Dude, when you watch Full Metal Jacket, bro, the Mickey Mouse song,
Yes, bro.
that's fucked up too. That's the same shit.
Yeah, man. War songs are scary.
Oh yeah.
War scary.
I never like want to do that.
Be in a war.
I would. That was my fear as a kid, is I would get drafted or some shit. When I learned the draft was a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Whoa,
we
whoa,
still
whoa,
can.
you have a
we
choice?
still can. We still can.
Yeah, I mean we're prime
I
age.
mean, if we ever go to war with
launch.
China or something, I don't know.
What do you think like a war would even look like nowadays? Like would it even
I don't
be?
think it would
I don't
be
even
nuclear.
think foot
I
soldiers.
don't think it would be
It
nuclear.
can't be nuclear.
Yeah, nobody
Because
would do that.
it turns
It's
in,
not a war.
yeah, it turns
At
into a
that point.
situation where the person who went nuclear gets fucked by everybody else.
Yeah.
And then it's mutually
Yeah.
assured destruction.
Yeah.
It can't go nuclear, but you know what? I think it could go back to like carpet bombing, which is so fucked because that's so much worse.
Wait.
Yeah.
Like.
Like what we did in World War
cities?
II
Yeah.
or Vietnam and
Fuck that.
Shit, Korea. That shit's fucked.
I mean, we are already just like bombing the shit out of the Middle East.
I know.
Or Obama did. Trump's probably doing it too.
Well, yeah, every president does
We've had,
it.
I mean, yeah, but like Obama ramped that shit up.
The numbers are so skewed.
Yeah.
Really?
Once it gets to Obama, yeah.
It's strange because everybody
I mean,
thinks
he didn't
fucking...
start the war, but
Dude, they
Well,
definitely
They wanted to
amped it up.
revoke his Nobel Peace Prize for that.
Yeah.
They gave it
Yeah,
to
I
him just
forgot,
because he
yeah.
was the first black president.
Yeah.
Wow, that's speculative, but sure.
Well, no, that's
That
what
he's
it
the
was
first
for.
black president.
Oh, really? That's the reason
I'm
you
pretty
got
sure,
it?
yeah.
I don't know about that, but it could be.
No, I'm pretty sure that's
Okay,
it.
I believe you.
Wait, what were you saying?
He got a Nobel Peace Prize because
I know he
was the
got
first-
that. Yeah,
because he was the first black president.
maybe.
And then they wanted to revoke it because he was just bombing everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that as a kind of a jab to the stomach if you're.
He did kill
Village just
Osama bin
got
Laden though.
destroyed.
That was cool.
He did.
Obama,
Well, SEAL Team 6 did.
Obama personally.
Yeah, he dropped in.
He shot the
Osama bin
sniper.
Laden.
Your time is up.
He's got like a badass catch.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He was
catchphrase.
actually on a bald
got
eagle.
him.
He goes, time for change. And he calls up
No,
Michelle.
you can't.
Calls up Michelle.
I got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I was gonna say these lawmakers. I'm pretty sure in Georgia are trying to make a reparation tax.
What is that?
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
Reparations for slavery, I assume?
Yeah.
Reparation is when you have to pay for something that was done in the past. So that's what caused World War II. You remember when they wanted reparations for World War One?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's never gonna get passed. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's
but-
wild. I didn't know
like,
that.
The left and the right are just both so like far leaning at this point in government.
Well, the issue
Yeah.
is it's gotten to the point where you can't find a common ground in an enemy, right? What has been interesting you guys recently? Is there anything that you've been just interested in?
Beer,
Beer? What you been drinking, Max?
just shitty beer.
Shitty beer, hell
Just
yeah.
trying
But
to
a
find
lot of
shit.
it. They ran out of Bud Light 30s the other day. We drank them all.
Wait, what do you mean they ran out?
Like there were no more
in the
Bud
city?
Light 30s. No, at the gas station.
Okay.
We like know the owner of the gas station.
The whole city was dry.
I was like, yeah, what do you mean?
From north to east to south to west, it didn't matter where you went. There were no beers to be found.
Did you have to
That's
settle
what-
for Budweiser,
that's
or were
what
there no 30s?
American Pie is about, bro. The song American Pie.
Well, no, it's about Vietnam.
Well, yeah.
It's-
Took the Chevy to the levee, but the
Did you ever hear about that guy who did the Ultimate Beer Run?
No.
What is Ultimate Beer Run?
He was this guy. So there was this group of guys who all grew up in like the same area in New York City, and they all got drafted except for one of them because I guess he couldn't serve for some reason.
Oof.
Yeah, and he was like, "Fuck, I miss my boys." So he got a crate of beer and joined the it's called the Sailors Army, I think, and it's basically where they're just like sailing supplies back and forth. And then when he got dropped off, he was carrying around beers, and he was like traveling to find where his buddies were. He'd be like looking up. He'd call up people. Hey, do you know where blah blah blah's station? They're like, yeah, he's at the whatever. So he'd take a train over there, and he'd just have a couple brews with his boys, and then he went and go. And some of them were grouped together, some of them weren't. But there's this one story at the very end where he got to the line of scrimmage, like the red line, where both sides are, and they're like close, and he gets to the guy's platoon, and he finds like the commander or whatever. He's like, hey, do you know where whatever his face is? And he's like, yeah, son, he's about a mile that way in a foxhole, dug out.
Damn.
Like it's bad stuff. And the guy's like, okay, just walks over there, and he's just wearing apparently he was wearing like a button-up shirt and just shorts, and he just walks over there. And they had an interview with the guy that he brought beer to, and he was just like, I thought it was fucking dead or something. I don't know what was happening. He just showed up with beer, and
What war was this? 2?
it was Vietnam.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Figures.
But he brings a case of beer, drinks it with him, sleeps the night there, and then walks back in the morning. And the guy said that everybody in his squad was like, "What the fuck? That guy's a legend." And it's been deemed the best beer run of all time.
My dad had
That's
a friend
fucking
growing
awesome.
up, and he was a little bit like crazy, but he got drafted in the Vietnam War. And when he came back, he said that every time they would make like their runs throughout the jungle or whatever,
Yeah.
that he would always lead the
Run
pack.
through the jungle.
Because that's like one guy was a little bit further ahead
Yeah.
and would warn the other guys.
Yeah.
And his mentality was that the Viet Cong would like let him through first and then wait for the entire group to show up, so he would always be okay.
That's probably true. Viet Cong are kind of ruthless.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he came back, so I guess his method worked. But...
My grandfather was a Huey pilot, and he has some fucking stories.
My grandfather was a bomber pilot in Vietnam.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Man, he was talking about dropping shit and being like, we don't know if we hit somebody or we hit a village. We
Yeah.
just were dropping shit. And it's like, oh, cool. Like, he dropped Agent Orange and stuff, and he has, like, health problems because of it, because that
Yeah,
shit's so
dude.
fucking terrible.
It's just fucked up. Well, it was to kill all the plants, too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what it was, so they
Yeah.
couldn't hide.
But it also, like, yeah.
But if it touches you, you're fucked, basically. Like, it's something that can kill plants that fast can't be good for people, you know what I mean?
Napalm.
Yeah, napalm.
That's probably not good for people.
Just burning down fucking shit. Napalm's, yeah, no shit.
We made napalm once.
Dude,
What?
the United States has done some wild shit.
No, like, I made
Oh,
napalm.
wait, why?
Just cause.
Okay.
I'm on a watch list now.
100%. Did you look it up?
Huh?
Did you, Google how to make napalm?
No,
Well,
my
I don't
friend
think
was
you
like,
just
hey,
knew.
watch this. So we made some napalm.
Huh. Well, good for you.
I'm not gonna say how to do it, but
That's good.
I feel like dolphins could take over the world if we give them too much LSD.
I think they could do it if they had opposable
Yeah, no,
thumbs.
that's the whole thing. Like, if they had the ability to transfer knowledge, like, write things down, you can't do that shit in the water. Like, octopuses aren't they smarter than people? They just have to learn everything from birth because there's no, like, from experiences. I mean,
I gotcha. Like,
there's
way to
no
retain
source.
information.
Like, I don't have to fucking go get stung by a snake to know what a snake is. I can just look at a
I
video
want
of
to
a
get a pet
snake.
octopus now.
They're fucking
pet?
dude. There was this
What
one.
are you gonna keep it in?
A tank or
No,
something.
dude,
Well,
there was
okay.
this one octopus. Like, there was some fish dying in this aquarium, and they couldn't figure out what was happening. And then this octopus knew the guards' schedules and
Really?
would sneak out of his tank, go eat some fish, and then go back in his tank.
Jesus.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, they can figure out like mind, like
They're
simple
very
mind
smart.
puzzles
No,
and stuff.
they're very smart.
They can
Yeah,
move
dude.
all that way.
I feel like they can feel affection. You know, they
Oh,
can
probably. I mean,
Back
elephants
questions?
can. 100%.
Yeah,
Elephants are
elephants-
super smart.
Yeah, dude. I want to pet an elephant. I
They've
wanna-
got like the biggest brain.
You can like adopt an elephant for like a certain amount of like money, like a lot of money.
I'm sure a
And
lot.
somebody
Of
will
them.
like, yeah.
Again, where would you keep it?
Well, no, like you adopt it and it's still like out in the wild, but like it's like
Oh, so you're getting
unprotected lands and
scammed.
shit. Well,
No, you're paying to protect it. That's
Oh, okay, okay. It's like buying it. I thought it was like buying a star.
No. Dude, what if fucking aliens were like, oh, dude, that star looks badass, and they go to, oh shit, it's registered to Carl Stevenson. He put a claim on it, so we can't fucking use
There's a little
it.
copyright in the bottom
Oh, yeah.
right. Yeah.
Fuck,
What's that? On to the next one.
we can't be
Pack
violating
it up.
interdimensional space law. They'll send you the time vortex for that one. What TV show you been watching recently, CJ?
The Expanse.
So I love Firefly, and I've heard that it is like kind of, at least
It's similar.
similar. Yes,
Like there's a crew situation,
I like Cruise.
but it's smaller, and the characters aren't like. I would say there's probably more that you can attach to in Firefly than you can in.
Well, Firefly is extremely personal.
Yeah.
Expanse seems more like a concept, like Star Trek is.
Yeah, and like
I like the Orville.
Orville, I've never seen it. I heard it's terrible.
I saw like an episode. It wasn't that good.
I like the Orville. I saw an episode. It wasn't that good.
I was just trying to contrast.
I mean, did the new season come out or whatever? Has the Amazon season come out yet?
No, it should come out later this year. But what I like about it is like they take like a real approach on what would happen in space travel. So like, there's people who are born in
different gravities and stuff.
Yeah, and when they come to Earth, they get fucked and they have to stay in a tank, and it's like illegal to bring anyone there and torture them for information. One of the first scenes of the show is like this guy being hung on nails. So that's the only way he can like stay on Earth without the bone.
Jesus Christ!
That's like Wall-E,
but
bro.
in concentration or in contrast. He doesn't have to breathe as much air, and a huge thing about the ships is not getting enough air and making sure the filters are clean and stuff.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So they always like shit on the Earth people because they're like, you're breathing so much and shit because their lungs.
So this is the thing that I liked about Firefly is the deep space and getting stranded is a real issue.
Oh,
and a lot of sci-fi shows do not really touch on that.
Yeah.
So that's So I've been watching. Game of Thrones, but I guess
not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
They're starting their production for the new one next month.
Wait, what is the new one?
What?
It's gonna be the long night, like the first long night, and with how the wall gets built, I guess.
Who's it gonna be?
But it'll have the Night King again, and hopefully they'll show more of that. Since we kinda got
maybe that's why they did that.
I think that's their thing. I'm
Game of Thrones spoilers ahead.
Oh
I suppose.
sorry.
But that's probably why. They made him kind of anticlimactic. But even then, if they make him even cooler in a prequel, that makes it even worse how he died.
Yeah.
In such a bullshit, sneaky beaky way where somebody just fucking
the
sneaks
whole
up
season,
on him.
man, just fucking. The first 2 episodes were my favorite, which is saying something.
Wow.
I mean, I like the third
3
one.
had me on the edge of my
Yeah,
seat
it definitely
the entire
had me
time.
too. Like,
I just don't like how it wrapped up.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, the thing is they all have you on the edge of your seat, but if you think about it for a second, it doesn't make any sense. And then you get upset. But if you go into it just like oh, pretty colors and explosions, someone died, that's cool. That's like what they were going for, like an Avengers movie. But Game of Thrones was supposed to be like so smart and so like well written.
It's like they dumbed it down for the least common denominator because they knew so many people were watching it.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people are watching it without having seen any of the other seasons. And that's how Endgame was. A lot of people saw all the Avengers movies without seeing any of the other Marvel
spoilers.
Ones. Yeah, sure. Endgame spoilers, too.
Yeah, you need to watch the other ones. That's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Honestly, you don't. I'd say you have to watch
I didn't
Infinity
see
War,
a lot of them.
And then...
There's a lot of them I didn't watch.
Like, my dad's best friend was going to go see... Like, my dad bought tickets for Endgame because he loves all those movies. And his best friend's like, I want to come. And he's like, all right, I bought you a ticket. And then, like, the day of, he's like, oh, so how many of the Marvel movies have you seen? He's like, oh, I haven't seen any of them. And my dad canceled both their tickets.
You have to at least watch Infinity War. If you've never seen it. You just told me. If you're going to watch it.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah, definitely.
I've seen every single Marvel movie, so...
Maybe. You excited for the new Spider-Man movie?
I didn't watch the trailer, but I am extremely excited.
Yeah, it's...
I don't like watching trailers.
It's hard not to. Especially if you go see any movies up until the point.
I don't see many movies.
Yeah, but when you go to the movie theater, they show you like 30 trailers in a row.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's why that movie...
Overlord.
Yeah, Overlord.
Yeah.
Is every single scary part in that movie
was shown.
Every single one.
Yeah, and if it had just been like just a World War II movie and you watch that and then that should happen, you'd be like, whoa, that's awesome.
Then it would have been a fucking amazing movie. But like, I was already like, I don't know. Like, it just didn't... impact me as much as it could have,
I don't know. 100%. I didn't watch the trailer before, and I still didn't like it that much.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. I thought it was a good movie.
There's a couple cool scenes. I actually really like... It was like there's just like an hour of the movie that could have been cut out.
Yeah, I agree. They shouldn't have been in the house for so long.
Yeah.
It's more of a spectacle than it is like...
I really like the machine gun scene.
I love all the
that was awesome.
Scenes.
And then the first 10 minutes is amazing.
I think the whole movie, the scenes are just badass. Like, it's awesome.
And I guess it was kind of cool what they were doing at the end with like... They were doing all these experiments on these people, and that was like the tie-in from it. There's actually some historical context.
Yeah, wasn't that from like a comic book?
Maybe, probably.
What did the Germans?
I mean, there is historical.
Yeah. Overlord itself.
Dr. Bloom, man, that's one example of a guy who's doing fucking weird shit.
I think there was a comic called Overlord. Or something.
Probably.
Oh, there was an Operation.
I have no clue.
Operation Overlord?
Is that not an actual thing?
It could be. I actually don't know. It very well could be.
You're a fact checker.
The Avengers movies are based off comic books.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind, kid.
If you didn't know that.
Tell me more.
I don't think kids nowadays know that.
Stanler Lee wrote them, right? Stanler Lee. The myth, the legend.
Not the man?
Not anymore.
Oh. Yeah.
That's kind of too soon, maybe. I don't know.
A
lot of people loved him a lot for no reason who never read the comics. It's just kind of strange. Because he has nothing to do with the movies. Well, I guess that's wrong. He created the characters.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
He's
Yeah.
listed as an executive producer for all the movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Operation Overlord was a thing?
Yeah, it was the same day as the Normandy landings. I think it was actually like the battle in the city, I guess,
Oh, well,
of Normandy.
Who's that?
then that's what the...
And the Neptune
Brothers
was
was-
from the
yeah.
ocean.
Yeah, no, so Overlord would be the 1st Infantry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that...
What we saw.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That
the
makes
airborne.
sense.
Yeah. The Screaming Eagles, brother. But that shit get all fucked up because the Germans kind of knew about it and then started shooting the planes and fucking up their trajectory and shit. And wasn't it like stormy
it
the
was a
same
shit
day?
show. And so what they did is they flooded all the fields that they would land in so that the paratroopers would drown when they landed.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, that happens in Overlord.
Yeah.
He fought like it's very historically accurate up until that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. would fucking cover that shit up because that's
Yeah.
dark as fuck.
Did you read the one they were talking about the Nazi scientists on the Joe Rogan with the CIA girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
That shit is crazy, man.
You should go watch it.
They were doing some fucky shit.
Oh, well,
Like, there's a reason they're the personification of evil now.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It's
how do you,
fucked.
yeah, they've ruined...
I mean, they didn't see their subjects as humans.
Well, that's the whole issue, is they saw them as Jews. They were like, there's people and then there's Jews. Like, that's
Well,
very fucked up.
It was like there's a lot of comparison
And
to
also,
like bugs and
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
6
it's not
million
good.
Jews and like 5 other million other like less
yeah,
desirable,
just untouchables almost.
undesirables.
Yeah, it's very fucking crazy. And it's so strange that they were able to disconnect them from people.
It's fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. I mean,
crazy
the Japanese,
fucked, bro.
the things they did in World War II.
The things they did to China, bro.
Yeah,
Fucking,
to Korea.
yeah.
They did
What
terrible.
they do to Korea?
Lots of things.
Just raped
bro.
and pillaged.
Yeah.
They raped and pillaged like the entire Pacific Ocean and
They took like
all of China.
almost all the women, like young women from Korea, and made them prostitutes for the Japanese
Oh
army.
my god.
And they would just like cut off everybody's heads, like,
Yeah, and they were doing messed up stuff.
and they don't even really acknowledge it.
I don't even like talking. They've never apologized for anything they did in World War II,
Yeah.
but we've apologized for everything we did,
Well,
and so has Germany and every other country. So
Sure. That again, that culture doesn't.
they still think they're right,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Well, I mean, I'm not going to speak for Japanese.
Yeah,
people.
that's true.
you gotta watch
But-
The Last Samurai, bro. You know,
I have
Tom
seen The
Cruise.
Last Samurai.
Good
yeah.
movie.
It's
And then,
alright.
and then that like is that movie is like where the American like way of life sort of starts infiltrating Japan up until after World War
The
II,
end of the
when we-
feudal age.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, fucking. Somebody big in Japan recently killed themselves. Like
Oh,
a
man.
very famous person.
there's a high suicide rate in Japan.
No, of course, yeah. It has like the highest one. They also have
I mean,
they have the most
suicide
declining.
is honestly like built into their culture too.
A little bit. Well, so like there's this sumo wrestlers.
Yeah,
The way it used to work is if a ref made a bad call,
yeah.
he was supposed to kill himself in the circle.
I believe it.
So
the
if you have-
wrestler or the ref?
The ref.
ref.
So if you ever see a ref, they'll always have a knife on their belt for traditional purposes, and it's because if they fuck up, they're supposed to kill themselves. It's got to be a big fuck up, but
I want to see that happen.
How
Like,
old is
I'm
sumo
Bruce-
wrestling now?
sumo wrestling's super
Morbidly
old.
curious.
Okay,
now.
okay.
I want to see that happen now, like in this day and
I
age.
doubt there's any videos of it. I don't think
I want,
anyone's done
like
it
I'm saying,
recently.
I want there to be like a world sumo championship, and the ref is just like, oh fuck, like that'd be fucked up.
That way
man.
they take their job seriously.
Well, usually the way it works, and this is how Tanner explained it to me, is that if it happens nowadays, the ref puts in a formal request for
Resignation.
suicide. No. Or maybe it's for resignation or suicide, and then the president's supposed to be like, no, you don't have to do that. And so the president like pardons them.
Okay.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, but it's like a big deal. Sumo wrestling's like their football. Like it's huge. It's like almost religious.
Yeah. It's cricket in India.
So it's like an honor thing?
Yeah,
To
it is
not
100%
break it.
an honor.
In Japan, they play hella baseball.
Like for instance, technically, if you were in sumo, what you can do is so the guys charge at each other, right?
Mhm.
You can step aside and he'll run out of the ring and he'll lose, but that's dishonorable.
Yeah.
But you could win the world championship doing that.
Yeah.
But nobody ever does.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, honor is like a huge thing. In soccer, there's no honor. If somebody touches you, you fall down.
Dude, basketball's getting it
Basketball
now.
is the exact opposite of honor.
Basketball's starting to do the thing
Because
where people
LeBron, bro. LeBron introduced flopping on like
Flopping
a large
is
scale.
terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, did you hear about? I always forget the guy's name. He was talking about one of his kids. He went to one of the kids' games, and his son flopped, and he was like, "Hold up, this is fucking whack."
Bro,
I haven't heard of it.
I was taken
It
out
was
of
like
so many,
I think he's a player for Golden State, but I don't
I
remember.
was taken out of so many soccer games as a kid for like being way too aggressive and like slide tackling and shit.
Slide tackling.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Dude,
you
I
gotta be
remember-
crazy to slide tackle.
No,
That's
but I would
dangerous.
always get the ball. I never drew.
Yeah, you're a
Okay.
dickhead still.
Yeah. Dude, I slide tackled a girl, bro. Her dad started yelling at me. They took me out of the game.
You should play hockey, bro.
Yeah,
I
it
should.
sounds like you had a mental.
We played a lot of street hockey. I got a scar.
Yeah,
I got hit by a stick.
I wish I played hockey as a kid.
Yeah.
Like that's the one sport I wish I played a lot of baseball. I don't know. Baseball was cool, but hockey would be way cooler.
My two neighbors were like older brothers to me growing up. We always used to get in fist fights, bro.
Hell yeah, bro! Fight Club. Nobody talks about that shit.
Wait, what?
It's the first rule, brother.
Yeah, don't talk about it.
You just start talking about it.
No, I'm just talking about. Never mind.
Hmm?
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 Mm-hmm.
No, that was such a genius thing too. When the writer of the book came up with that, he's like, "Hey, what's that Fight Club thing? Oh, you don't talk about it. It's the first rule." Like that's a go-to response that people do when you ask, "Hey, what is Fight Club any good?" And you go, "You don't talk about Fight Club. That's the first
Yeah.
rule." Like that's all. It's like it's part of the movie, but it's also like a good like. I don't know. You don't talk about it. You just watch it.
Yeah.
You have to get somebody to,
Like-
invite you, and you can't say, "Go to Fight Club." You say, "Follow me."
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept.
It's
It's a great movie.
yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, it is fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude. I want to get into a speakeasy.
A speakeasy. I went to one for my dad's 50th.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
They at the end they were like, "Oh, we have to reach a tab, and we haven't reached it yet." And the guy was like,
Oh shit.
"My dad was like, let's get something expensive." He was trashed.
Yeah.
We got Pappy Van Winkle. I don't know if you know what
Oh,
that
damn,
is. It's
yeah.
very expensive.
Yeah.
And we got the 22 year,
Damn.
and I had it, and it was so fucking amazing.
You drink it all?
It was $80 for a shot of it.
God damn.
$80.
Wait, you didn't hit your tab limit?
Yeah, right.
How?
How many
Those
shots?
places. That place is
How
so
much
expensive.
do you have to spend there?
That place was very expensive. It was very
Holy
nice.
shit.
It was so cool. It was so cool.
I want to own a bar one day.
I wouldn't go there at all.
Not. I
My
wanna-
dad's 50th is wild, and we went to a strip club after that.
Yeah.
With my parents.
That's weird. I
Your
would
mom?
not like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my god.
They left, and then I was there, and it was just weird.
That's
It was more of a dive bar than a strip club. It was
Yeah.
like more of a spectacle show. Like they had women in that were very old dancing. Like that's
Yeah.
part of the thing. But they also had young women, but they also had like elderly women or
Like elderly women?
yeah, it's
or
called
like,
the Claremont. You can look it up, but basically there's there was like a lady probably in her 60s.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it's like a spectacle show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't
But
know who would want to go see that.
A lot of people. The place
Really?
was packed. It's more of a club than
Yeah,
a strip club. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like there's a lot of dancing. There's a lot of
Sure.
people. Nobody was really looking at the strippers. People were talking
Yeah.
and dancing and shit. That's kind of. It was more like that's a good quirk to get people in the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they'd only have one dancer at a time and kind of shit. So it's very interesting. But the dancers made a lot of money, and they were definitely
You ever
washed
go to
up.
the Electric Cowboy before it closed?
Yeah.
Nah.
They always had fucking like strippers, like doing the dances. Like they had the dance floor in the middle, and they always did like it's a honky tonk.
Yeah.
But they would always on the stage have like girls.
Yeah.
And then they had like 2 bars and like 4 pool tables. It was a cool place, bro. But it went out of business because nobody wanted to go there from Kennesaw.
Well, it became a cop trap. That's probably why.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I went with this girl who got arrested.
My ex-girlfriend got arrested there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something else. Well, gentlemen,
She was being stupid though, so I said, I said, cut it out.
I said, cut it out, bitch.
Didn't know a place.
Well, gentlemen, I think it's been a good podcast.
Has it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we can keep going for a little bit.
Let's end it here, my friend.
All right. Well, we gotta talk. All right. Yeah.
What?
Never mind.
All right. I'm Jack. You're Max. Okay. Do you want to say your name?
No.
Okay, this is CJ. All right. Thank you very much. Where's the mouse? I need to find the mouse.
No, delete.